Financial planning, for a big part, is shaped by human behavior and biases. So what we'll actually be exploring with this panel instead is the whole human-AI collaboration. AI can do the heavy lifting, research, data, etc., but money is emotions. It cannot become a shoulder to cry on for your clients. Let's welcome our panel for the session. First up, we have Keyur Faldu, co-founder and CEO of HyperNorm AI, Komal Narang, the Chief Client Officer at JioBlackRock Mutual Funds, and finally, Vineet Malhotra, co-founder and CEO of compoundexpress. Welcome onto this panel, and let me also invite Sumit Lakotia, Senior News Editor, Times Influence, Times Network, to moderate the panel.
Thanks for that, Mubina. Komal, I'll just take this ahead to you with JioBlackRock. How are you going to be democratizing the institutional grade tools for the investors? Because that is something I'm sure everyone here would want to know.
So JioBlackRock, the organization that I represent, is a blend of two very large organizations. As we say, one powerhouse, two brands, three ways to engage. Jio knows the Indian digital ecosystem, having almost close to 50 crore odd telco customers. So practically, they are available in 50 crore pockets today through the mobiles. On the other side, BlackRock represents world's largest asset manager, managing close to about 12 trillion of its assets. Now, when BlackRock started managing this size and scale of assets across geographies and across asset classes, it was a necessary that process comes before people. And hence this innovation or solution, a tech solution called Aladdin was innovated, which has a lot of mystery and many meanings in this context. Aladdin is something which is BlackRock's proprietary, and the validation of the strength of that platform would come from a fact that while there is 12 trillion of AUM of BlackRock being managed on Aladdin, but overall Aladdin manages close to about 30 trillion, which means almost 18 trillion worth of assets of various large organizations and wealth managers of the world are being managed through Aladdin. So to that extent, that is a validation of this platform. Aladdin has a capability to generate hyper-personalized institutional grade portfolios and also provide analytics, also provide risk modeling, stress testing, all that you need to take decisions about, are you allocated into the right funds, yes or no? To give you a very simple example, the decision is still yours. But if you were to drive a car and today possibly see a fuel gauge and a speedometer, what Aladdin would give you is an entire spectrum of the visibility of each and every part of the engine, how it is moving, what is the efficiency, and that too in a very digestible format, not in the most complex format. The idea is that you understand your portfolios, and these portfolios are monitored real time by a technology such that at any given point in time, they are not deviating from the goals with which you had purchased. The objective of this JV is that they should be available to every mass affluent in their pocket on their mobile screens.
All right, that's great to know, and thanks for those insights. Vineet, I'm going to come to you with the million-dollar question that I'm sure is in this room, and I'm asking it on their behalf. How can financial planners effectively use AI to grow their business? And I don't mean just using ChatGPT to write better emails or Grammarly, but the power of AI that the three of you are involved in. Just wanting your insights on that.
So today I'm not going to talk about systems, okay? It's boring. 3 to 5 years later, we will forget what AI is. What we will remember is how it changed your life. So I think the question Sumit asked is, what are the use cases? To me, there is the superficial AI, and then there is the deep AI. What do you mean by superficial AI? Superficial is where you use it to schedule meetings, look up a query on a ChatGPT, those kind of things. In CompoundX, we've introduced AI. So the year of talking is over, the year of action is on. I have real insight from AI being used by over 2,000 distributors in India. So I've got real valuable insight. 46% of AI is used for service requests and miscellaneous questions. Staggering, right? 46% people are saying, how do I change my nominee? How do I change my bank account? My kids become a minor, from a minor to a major. What do I need to do? So basic servicing, right? 15% is relating to product inquiries, product research, right? Those are the use cases which we are seeing. Another 15% is related to SIP. You know, in this market, nothing can be complete without the use of the word SIP. That's also really important. But now what is sad is there are two areas which are not being used. One is proposal generation, right? And prospecting. That's very low at about 7%. And regulatory and compliance is very low at about 6%. So I would say what I've done is just shown you the data of how AI is being used for different things. As financial planners, let's take a reality check. There are 3 lakh distributors in India. How many have email addresses which is not a Gmail or a Hotmail or a whatever, right? 5,000 people, that's it. So what are we talking about? We're at a very nascent stage of technology adoption. My suggestion is get involved, take a platform that allows you to use AI and experiment. The days of thinking are over. We are in 2025. This is the time to act. And the use cases will evolve. I feel using AI to analyze your client portfolio is a very significant use case. We offer it, but this session is not about us. I think it's about how you can use that AI to both research products, analyze portfolios, rebalance portfolios. To me, that is the very solid use case of AI. There's one other thought I'll leave you with. There's what you call in AI probabilistic and deterministic. Probabilistic is, maybe you have some smart kid who will come to you and say, let me tell you these 50 customers are going to leave you, and I'll do a projection, right? And that's what I call probabilistic. Now you get very excited because he's used some metric to decide something. That is still very untested. The deterministic one, where you are analyzing a portfolio on some real parameters, that's the more specific AI use case which will thrive. And there will be no debate on that, right? Show me my clients whose SIPs are going to close in the next 1 month, right? I have a meeting with my 5 clients. What should I talk to them tomorrow? Give me a meeting prep cheat sheet. Those are deterministic, and those use cases are already included in what we do. And I'll urge you to think of the more deterministic use cases. So I hope this helps.
It's all about how do we action this and not just about, having general queries in them. The more specific you get, the better returns you get from that. Keyur, how are you seeing with HyperNorm AI? How are you approaching the traditional, robo-advisory models that have struggled in the US? I want to get your sense of how will you see AI being used by this audience here in India?
Thanks, Sumit, for the interesting question to begin with. There is a major event that has happened in terms of the technology, which is the GPTs of the world, right? So 2022, 2023, when basically the same old technology called transformers got into the scale, learned over like literally the trillions of tokens on those trillions of parameters, it changed the fundamental aspect of AI. So robo-advisory prior to that and advisory after that would not be a sane comparison, right? Because the capacity, the potential, the actual capability is at the next level. But there are quite a few learning that we have got from those robo-advisory experience that we have had. Number one is a standalone robo-advisory would be sufficient enough. I think by and large, everybody are at the consensus that no, it's not the robo versus advisor. It's basically the advisor enablement that's going to be the future, right? So how AI can be weaponized by advisors by even either selling the product or at the buy side or the product creation, everywhere how AI can be weaponized, that's going to be the main question, or that's going to be the main opportunity that we have at this point in time. So it has to be digitally AI native in terms of its capability, but it has to be advisor-centric so that it ultimately impact on wealth creation or wealth preservation or whatever is the goal is, right? So AI become the fundamental part there just to make enablement of the advisor. Yeah.
Round of applause, ladies and gentlemen, for this panel. We've got some great insights here from the panel, which will, I'm sure, add to the conversations that you will be having.
Very important points, most importantly, use AI. Don't ignore it altogether. I think Vineet makes a very important point. Sometimes we sort of blur the lines when it comes to technology, finance, perhaps rightly so, because access, thanks to Gen AI, has become so simple, in many ways easy to understand as well. But I guess when you let the specialists do the job, they do it beautifully, and that's when the two worlds can come together very nicely.